Part 1. I received the funeral invitation 3 days before the man died. At first, I thought it was a mistake. The envelope was pale gray with my name written in neat black ink. Mr. Daniel Reed. No return address. No stamp. It had been slipped under my apartment door sometime after midnight. Inside was a single card. You are respectfully invited to attend the funeral of Mr. Arthur Vale, Friday, 200 p.m. St. Mary's Chapel. I read the card twice. Then a third time. Arthur Vale was my neighbor. He lived alone in apartment 804, directly above mine. A quiet old man in his late 70s. Every morning at exactly 6:30, I heard his cane tap across the wooden floor. Tap, tap, tap. He would leave his apartment, take the elevator. Downstairs, buy one newspaper and return. He rarely spoke to anyone, but he was alive, very much alive. Because only 10 minutes after I found the invitation, I heard his cane above my ceiling. Tap, tap, tap. I stood frozen in my kitchen. The sound moved from one side of his apartment to the other, then stopped. I looked down at the card again. Friday. Today was Tuesday. Arthur Vale's funeral was scheduled for 3 days later. I laughed nervously and told myself someone was playing a cruel joke. Maybe one of the teenagers in the building, maybe a wrong address. But then I noticed something strange. At the bottom of the card, written in tiny letters, was one line. Please bring back what you took. My mouth went dry. I had never taken anything from Arthur Vale, at least not knowingly. That evening, I saw him in the elevator. He was wearing his usual dark coat and brown hat. His hands trembled slightly on top of his cane. I wanted to ask him about the invitation, but before I could speak, he turned his cloudy eyes toward me. Mr. Reed, he said softly. I had never told him my name. Yes, he leaned closer. His breath smelled faintly of medicine and peppermint. If something happens to me, he whispered, do not trust the woman in red. The elevator doors opened. Arthur stepped out. I remained inside, unable to move. The woman in red? That night, I barely slept. Every sound from upstairs made me flinch. Around 2:17 a.m., I woke to a loud crash. Not a small sound. Not a dropped cup. It was the kind of sound a body makes when it hits the floor. I ran upstairs and knocked on Arthur's door. No answer. Mr. Vale? Silence. I pressed my ear against the door. For several seconds, nothing. Then I heard it. A woman's voice. Low, calm, almost singing. You should have stayed quiet, Arthur. My blood turned cold. I stepped back. Before I could decide what to do, the door opened. A woman stood there. She was beautiful in a cold, polished way. Maybe 50. Maybe younger. Her lips were painted red. Her coat was red. Her gloves were red. She smiled at me as if she had been expecting me. Can I help you? She asked. I heard a noise, I said. Her smile widened. Mr. Vale fell asleep in his chair. He is fine. Who are you? Family. Arthur had once told the landlord he had no family. I tried to look past her shoulder. The apartment behind her was dark. Too dark. And then I saw it. A small drop of blood near her shoe. She noticed my eyes move. Her expression changed for half a second. Then she stepped forward, gently closing the door behind her. You should go back downstairs, Mr. Reed. I never told her my name either. I went down, but I did not sleep. The next morning, the cane did not tap. At 6:30, silence. At 700, silence. At 8:15, 2 police officers arrived. Arthur Vale was found dead in his apartment. The woman in red was gone. The official report said heart failure, natural causes, no signs of forced entry, no struggle, no witnesses. But I knew what I heard, and I still had the funeral invitation. The funeral was held exactly as the card said. Friday, 200 p.m., St. Mary's Chapel. I almost didn't go, but the last line on the card haunted me. Please bring back what you took. The chapel was nearly empty. No friends, no family. Only 6 people. A priest, 2 funeral workers, an old woman asleep in the back row, a tall man with a scar on his cheek, and her, the woman in red. This time she wore black, but her gloves were still red. She looked at me from across the chapel and smiled. Not warmly, not kindly, but like a hunter who had watched prey walk willingly into a trap. The service lasted only 15 minutes. When it ended, I approached the coffin. Arthur Vale looked smaller in death. His hands were folded over his chest. Between his fingers was a folded piece of paper. I glanced around. No one was watching. I took it. My hands shook as I unfolded the note. It said, "Daniel, you did take something from me. You just don't remember. Look under your floor." I stopped breathing. Under my floor? I rushed home. I tore the rug away from my living room. There, beneath the coffee table, one wooden plank was slightly loose. I had never noticed it before. I pulled it up. Underneath was a metal box, old, dusty, locked, and scratched into the lid were 3 words, "For the sun."